So I call my mother either Lucille or Congresswoman, and she refuses to respond when I do that. So then I call her Mom, and she responds.
When Rick and I first met, we met over Thanksgiving, and he asked me to marry him before Christmas, like with the ring and everything. And I said yes. And just the experience of meeting his mom, like I've met her once, but really not until he said, so Mom, I want to introduce you, and we're getting married. And she definitely handled it with the grace of a very elegant person, because she was completely shocked and blindsided. Like he didn't even pull her aside and say, hey Mom, let me just prepare you for this. And it was like Christmas dinner and the whole family was there. And I think she just said, does anyone need more pie?
What makes me just have this really deep appreciation and love for my mom is, I'm getting a little emotional, sorry. Just sort of everything she's gone through. I think there's a perception that because she is the daughter of Edward Roybal, that her life's been easy, and that's just not the case. I think there's also been times where she hasn't been present because she had to be in Washington for family events. But, we all understood that, she was doing something which was really important. And we love her for that.
I want to say 3 years ago, our school had an assembly for the DREAM Act. And it was really interesting to me. And I think I brought up my dad. I was like, hey, we learned about this thing at school. And he was like, yeah, your grandmother worked really hard on that. I'm like, what? My grandmother did what? And I was like, geez.
I would say one thing that I'm looking forward to as she transitions is seeing more of her, having her around. I'm so glad that, I've got a daughter on a volleyball team and kids that are, going to college. And I'm just so excited to have her be a part of all those things. That's what I'm most looking forward to.
I would agree with my mom on that, being able to see her more and just spend more time with her, make more memories with her is going to be very memorable and exciting. Like my mom said, my sister's doing volleyball, starting high school this year, so just being more involved in our family.
My dad was saying that she wanted to work for him as a secretary. And I was like, oh my gosh, what? Really? Hello, Lucille Roybal, Allard, Congresswoman, how can I schedule your appointment today?
And I told her I wouldn't hire her, so.
Hello everyone, I'm Hilda Solis, Supervisor for the 1st District of Los Angeles County, and I'm honored today to join my good friends with Adventist White Memorial in honoring my good friend and colleague, Congresswoman Lucille Roybal Allard, with the Lifetime Achievement Award. For decades, she has helped lead the fight for fair and just immigration reform that recognizes the critical role that immigrants play in our communities. Even now, she's helping to lead the fight for the DREAM Act, which I was glad to see the House pass this year. And her leadership has helped secure critical funding to support healthcare initiatives, public education, and workforce training here and across the country. And when I left DC to come to serve on LA County Board of Supervisors, I was glad to know I could continue to work alongside with Lucille. It's hard for me to imagine what a future would be without her in this important role. Though I will say, after 30 years of congressional service, you more than have earned this retirement. Can you believe that? 30 years in Congress, 30 years of fighting for our most vulnerable communities, and 30 years of being a champion for immigration, for healthcare, and for education and labor. My friend, congratulations on your decades of public service to the residents who need it the most. I'm so glad to hear that you are being honored by this Lifetime Achievement Award, and I can't imagine anyone more deserving. Thank you, muchísimas gracias for all of your service.
Ready?
Count of three.
Count of three. 1,
2.
Congratulations.
Love you.
We love you, Mom.
My grandma was a very kind, patient, very caring woman. Like anytime I call her, she's always super excited to talk, and she's very, very sweet. She's always checking how are you doing, how are your parents, are you feeling okay, are you eating enough?
I would not have her job for anything because she was working 12, 14, 16 hours a day. And then when she was off, she was going to, ride in parades, or she was going to meet people, or she was going to do openings of community centers, or kiss babies, to be honest. And I thought, not only could I not do her job, but I wouldn't want her job because she works so hard.
I think what I hope for her most is, I want to spend time with my grandma, but she needs some time to just relax and mellow out. She's been spending however many years working nonstop, always doing something or another, and then the off chance she's always just kind of relaxed. So I'm hoping that's something she gets to do more of now.
From the time when I was very young until even now as an adult, she's always made sure that I knew that I had choices in life and that I was my own person, that I didn't belong to anybody, that I didn't have to depend on anybody, that I was a completely independent person and that I was my own person. And she gave me that sort of self-confidence, and she consistently does it. She still does it. So I think she gave me my ground, the ground that I stand on, the ground that makes me strong. She gave that to me through her words, through her teachings, and through her own actions, watching her and the way she handled things in her own life. I saw a powerful woman who took charge of her own life and didn't let anyone hold her down. And that's made me the same kind of woman.
Hello, our darling Lucille. Congratulations on this wonderful and well-deserved honor. For 30 years, you have blazed trails through the halls of Congress, advancing justice, inspiring your colleagues, and opening doors for the next generation. It has been my privilege to serve alongside you, and an absolute pleasure to call you my dear friend. You are a relentless force for progress as godmother of the Dreamers and champion of the DREAM Act, as an advocate fighting for Latina moms, as a leader and former chair of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, and as a cardinal of the Congress delivering resources to communities at home and across the country. Every step of the way, you have been a tireless voice for Los Angeles, with brilliance, passion, tenacity, and commitment rooted in your DNA. You followed in the footsteps of your iconic father, with whom I had the privilege of working. I'm so proud to see you making your own iconic mark in Congress, and he is too. To know you is to know your devotion to those you represent, to fighting for their health, their prosperity, and their hopes for the future. Thank you to everyone here tonight for recognizing the achievements of this barrier-breaking, ceiling-smashing stateswoman. And thank you, Lucille, for a lifetime of extraordinary public service and leadership. Best wishes for a lovely evening. Thank you.
When my mother entered politics, healthcare and access to healthcare for everyone was one of the main issues that she pursued. And I think the fact that White Memorial is located in the area in which she grew up in was super important to her. And she knew that if White Memorial succeeds, the people in her communities that she represents will have access to affordable, excellent, top-of-the-line healthcare.
Congresswoman Lucille Roybal Allard has been a friend of this hospital for many years. She's always fought for us in Washington, D.C. To get us the funding that we need, because she knows we'll provide services to the underserved community. So we're very thankful for her support over the years, and we're grateful. I think this hospital still exists in the community here because of the Congresswoman and her effort to keep us alive.
I think White Memorial wants to honor my mom tonight for all the hard work that she's done as a member of the U.S. House of Representatives. I think they also recognize all of the wonderful things she's been able to do for the hospital. And many of the board members that served with me on the foundation board and the governing board also have a long-standing personal relationship with her. And I think all of us want to acknowledge the years of service, and what better way than honoring her at tonight's gala.